boys are back. First and foremost, start off myself, Diga Dan.
Myself, Bogsy.
And today we got a special guest with us.
My little cousin.
Yo.
Old school friend.
Mad.
Man like
Kerry Phillips.
What's going on, people? What's going on, man?
Big up.
He is a, how can I say, advocate, worker, mentor, shoulder to lean on. He's a lot of things.
Chicken wing connoisseur. Let's put that in there.
Nah, that's
Let's
funny.
put chicken wing connoisseur.
Talking about chicken wings.
wait.
Let's go. We got to pick up the sponsors quickly.
Oh yeah, no, let me just finish.
Alright, cool, go on.
In mental health, that's what he does.
Yeah.
He runs a mental health
Organisation. Yeah.
We're gonna get into that. Let's pick up the
shouts to Blue Rum all day, Quailers Food Shop, Southeast 6 George Lane. Go check them out. So boom, Kerry.
Yo, first. I gotta say, shout out you lot, right? Because you see us as people, right? We're always looking at people to some degree as competition. And sometimes we gotta really understand that, we can all sit in the same section. Hovis, Kingsmill, Warburtons, they're all on the same hour. You don't see them on different hours. They're in the same hour, but they got different audiences. So 100%. Shout out you lot for keep going.
Nah, big up,
so
big
I got
up, big up.
For you, man, still.
Like, man's got some bread, some wall buttons in.
No.
Yo, Kingsmill and that.
So obviously we'll get into what we do and everything like that. But you got a saving soul shirt. So you got
enough respect. Oi, are you alright?
Yeah.
Thank you, Kerry. Thank you. Big up.
No,
I appreciate that.
Emotional and that.
Listen. You man need that. We represent, man.
Feel like
thank you very much.
I'm down off the camera to put this on.
What number did you get?
I'm down off the camera to put this on. Excuse. You lot talk while I'm away. I'm just gonna put this on. I'm wearing it on the show.
Yeah, man. Let's go, man. If I got the tracksuit on, it's only right if I got you lot top.
You got carry on chatting, man.
So Kels, boom, big up yourself. It's good to see you.
What man?
Come on, you
Talk
know
to me.
the thing.
Listen, come on, man. This is mad.
This is crazy.
Like this
now,
is 20.
I was just saying to myself, like 20 years ago, who thought there was going to be a day where we will sit down and speak about our life as adults? You get me?
Yeah.
And when we started knowing each other, we were far from adults.
Yeah.
We were. You get me?
In secondary
but
school.
I respect it. I always say this: you was a sick footballer.
I don't know.
Okay.
You was an absolute sick footballer in school.
Yeah, thank you.
You get me?
Football was
you had the crazy left foot.
Football was my thing still.
And considering you was working with a heavy load, you was still in the mix.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm trying to say?
I'm glad that you remember that, because there's certain people that you tell in it, and they're like, because everybody wants to be a baller in it. Everybody used to be good at football, innit? Everybody could have gone pro. I never said I could go pro, but
you
I used to be able to kick ball.
I'm telling you one thing. You see, if you didn't, we have to touch on this first and foremost.
Yeah,
Kerry, you was a very big guy.
100%.
Yeah, and I need you to let the people know.
Yeah,
what I'm talking about, because you get what I'm trying to say. It has to be emphasized and spoken about.
Huge, like from primary school going up to secondary school into college, I was huge, like severely overweight, severely obese. We're talking like my biggest was like 31 stone.
Do you get it?
Yeah.
You get it? And you was around man, and obviously we used to have our little banters, because you know me, I've always been me.
We know you.
We know you. Been me.
Let's get this clear from now, right? Dan used to make, the good thing about it, I never used to get bullied for it, right? But Dan used to make these jokes, but if anybody tried to make a joke against me, Dan was like, nah.
You can't do that against me. Like only I can run them jokes.
Yeah, that was facts. That was facts.
No, 100%.
That was facts.
But you see what? Because that's my little cousin. And if I knew what he was going through in school, I might have come down to the school.
No, but you know what?
So you know what? I'm bigging you up for looking after him.
Come on, man.
At the same time,
it was my brethren,
you as well.
100%. 100%. But no, you done very well on your journey.
Amazing.
When it really sparked to me is one day I think I was driving, and I thought you had a son, and I thought that your son was you, and I'm like, rah, Kerry's had a you. You get me? It's like, yo, I know your face. He's like, yo, Dan, it's me. I'm saying, you're lying, Kerry. Like, that is when it really hit home.
Mad.
And you've done very well, and you've maintained it. You get me? And I respect you for that.
You
Do you understand?
You see with his weight loss thing, yeah. You know why it was mad for me? Because I left him big.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Before I left, I was trying to kick it with you to get on to the. You get me? Boom, and then I come home and.
But you was always. You know what? You never. You were still involved in everything we done. The only thing I don't reckon you done was cross country. I swear one time we done cross country. My man took the bus. Pagoda run. Bro,
man took the bus. Man is out the hill, get the 89 up the hill. Why was my man trying to make us run in shorts, t-shirts, and shoes? Do you know how many times I forgot my shoes?
Nah, it's mad.
I forgot my trainers. So you're thinking that my man's gonna say, "Oh, don't worry about you got shoes on." My man said, "You're running your shoes." You get me? Anyway, that's a whole different topic.
Yeah, but you was always involved. Sport, as I said, you were sick at sport.
Yeah.
Do you get me?
Yeah.
But it's mad because other people that are big also need to kind of know how you felt and how you done it and what forced you to.
Let me be real with you, yeah. What got to me, and we're just being open. My ex left me, right, and like for the first time, it was one of those things where, like, and this is just me being real, just talking the facts, right? It was the first time, it was at a point where I had to get girls to see the personality before they even thought about the appearance. Because you'll always see the appearance first.
But you had a big personality.
Yeah. And that's where
you really did.
And that's where it worked for me in certain scenarios. So when I was with my ex and we were together, for like 4 years, and then when she left, right, and I tried to get back into the game, I realized that she actually loved me for me.
100%.
She didn't care about that. And it's only when she dropped the line of like, and this is when I was doing foolishness, I'm driving up and down, and man got a car early and stuff like that. So I'm driving up and down thinking, yeah, I'm bad and doing all of this stuff. So only when she said, it was all good and well you buying me things, but I just wanted to spend time. You can spend as much as you want on me. Just wanted to spend time. So my thing was like, all right, cool. I'm going to lose weight and I'm going to show her that I'm the dopest. So I'm trying to lose weight, everything like that. I'm doing the madness. I'm cutting out carbs and everything like that. I'm doing the madness. And then I got to a point in life where I realized that, you know what, I can't even do it. I can't even do it for her.
You got to do it for yourself. Myself. 100%.
I need to do it for myself. And then I started to realize that with regards to this journey, and only until I started doing the mental health and well-being, I didn't realize how much my mental health had been affected by being severely overweight. If I want to touch on just a few topics, like if you really check it and you really know me, yeah, even when we used to go to nannies, yeah, right, you would hardly see me eat.
Yeah, I know that. I knew that.
You'd hardly see me eat.
I knew that. If you ate, it would be the littlest.
And the reason why was, sorry to interject, because I didn't want people to think, right, he's eating again. So what I would do is, you wouldn't see me go in restaurants. You wouldn't see me out in public in front of people. I'd be eating a madness when I get home.
Secret eater, 100%.
And where I'm not doing any gym, imagine you're going home and boxing off a madness route, boy. Yeah.
When we're talking a madness, yeah, please.
Bro, we're talking we're talking about like them mad Iceland chicken wings and all sorts, and chips and burgers and all of that foolishness, things that are not for you.
Yeah,
and it was because I was such a fussy eater. Fussy eater. So I was doing a madness, bro. Like and it started getting to me mentally, because I was just like, when the man them are doing like them holidays and they're going Ibiza and they're going Napa, and I'm like, I'm not going on holidays, because I'm thinking I got to buy 2 plane tickets, because man's embarrassed to even want to sit in a seat, bro. Do you get what I'm saying?
I hear that.
Like, I'm not thinking about it. So I would isolate myself from being in front of all of that stuff, so that the embarrassment is not there.
So you end up living like a proper lonely life,
bro. Like, the thing is, yeah, it got to a point where only a few people were around me as much. I had many, don't get twisted, I had many friends that are cool, but more time, even if my friends check it now, yeah, more time it was come to Kerry's and play pro. That's because Kerry didn't really want to go out. Do you get what I'm saying?
The home buddy.
Yeah. So that's where I started doing things with, like, when we started doing like sets with like Still Real and stuff like that, and I was doing shows when I was younger and stuff like that. But when you're younger, I feel like there's a lot less I wouldn't say fear, but like you're not as aware in terms of like your well-being and stuff like that. That's the one. So when I started to get older and I started to look at certain things, I'm like, oh, why are they looking at me like that? Oh, they're looking at me because I'm big. Oh, they're looking at me like that. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's where it kind of, for me, I knew that I needed to make a transition, but I knew that the reason why I'm on this journey now with mental health and well-being is because I know how much that played into the way I am now. And I can imagine how many people that don't want to acknowledge how much stuff they've gone through in their past has brought them to their present.
100%. I respect that. I'll ask you a question. You see, when you was on your journey of weight loss, yeah, how long did it take you before you started seeing the effects of what you was doing? So you started seeing the positive effects of what you was doing?
See, because the thing is this, you can lose weight, and that's fantastic, but it's about seeing the confidence within yourself, because there are certain people that lose weight and still not happy within them. Do you get what I'm saying? When I started seeing the positives in myself, scrap the losing weight, was being able to go to Primark and buy work shirts. Having not to actually go online and go on like flipping American sites 100%. And pay £33 for one tent, rude boy. 100. Yeah, like
that
to
then
put
has
on.
to get posted to your house.
And post, and then postage and packaging and all of that foolishness.
100%.
When the satisfaction,
is that you were shopping clothes?
Yeah, because but nobody would know that.
I didn't have a clue.
But nobody would know that.
You know, and you know what? You see what? Yeah, and I feel. You see, like, I feel kind of bad now.
No.
Let me just finish.
All right, okay, cool.
Just let me finish. Yeah. Because you see what? Yeah. Like I'm saying, before I went to jail, yeah. Remember, I was trying to kick it with you about all this stuff, yeah. So I kind of picked up on something that I know you weren't happy about your size. I know you spoke about it, and I was telling you just start off like going treadmill, walk, and that. Remember that's what I said to you. Just walk on the treadmill, whatever. You get me? But I feel like that one kind of got away from you, man.
No, do you know what it is? Like, and there's deeper things that I'll go in when I'm a lot more comfortable, like in terms of the weight loss and stuff like that, and just being real, right? But I think for me, why I have to thank so many of my people and so many of my brethren that were around me, and just people that I've interacted in general, yeah, is I was never known as Fat Kerry. You know, there's some people that have that stigma where they're known as just like, oh yeah, you know, the fat one. More time, it was a thing of where, I could be wrong, people could be doing a madness behind my back, yeah, but I don't think it was, because anytime I see people, the first thing a lot of people say to me is that, I didn't even realize you were that big.
It was a part of you. What
shows me it weren't that. Do you feel me?
100. It was just a part of you. It was you.
Yeah.
You see when you got a picture on your Instagram, innit?
Yes.
You see when I saw that picture, like, yeah, it's like
my sister Sherelle's, yeah.
It was like raw, like,
yeah,
like I knew you was like a bit overweight, but you didn't look like that to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
which is why I thank you lot, because you didn't put it this way. If I did have how I was feeling on top of people telling me, we don't know where we could have been now.
100%.
We don't know where, and this is why this mental well-being stuff is so important
100%.
to me.
We're going to touch on that well-being here, but I do want to ask you a question. What age, so your childhood,
yeah,
what age did you start really putting on weight or starting to realize that you was big?
St. Joseph's Academy, I'd say.
So
when I got to 13, 14, because I was making money. So I was making money. Obviously, everybody used to do this, whether it be donuts, whether it be going to Iceland and getting like the Mars and the Twixes and the Rockies and all of that stuff. Fanta fruit twist, I'm going into a whole load of stuff, right? But then using that money to go and basically be able to buy fast food.
100%.
And then when I started being able to make money as I got older, outside of my working environment as well, I'm able to buy whatever I want.
100%.
Do you get what I'm saying?
100%.
And my thing was food, because you know, to certain men and certain women, their vice would be clothes, but for me, that can't be for my vice because I can't fit into the normal name brand clothes. I can't fit into the normal going to JD Sports and saying I want to buy a Nike tracksuit.
Buy name brand food.
Yeah. You know what? You're sick, but I love that. But that's what it is. Because man can actually buy a KFC. You know how great that is.
I get it.
No more LFC, no more Mowleys, Let's go KFC, boy.
I get it.
The Colonel.
I get it.
So where everybody had their vice of that was my vice.
So in primary school, you never had, you didn't, or you weren't aware. Was you big in primary school?
Yeah, I was big in primary school.
But obviously it was
never a thing because I was super active.
Okay.
Like I was big.
You weren't that big.
No, but I wasn't that. No, but that's what I'm saying. It was never a thing.
An average child.
Yeah, I was bigger than an average child.
Yeah, it weren't like, you know what? As you see in primary school time, man just used to think it was puppy fat. Like he was big, but he was active. Yeah, it wasn't like he was one of them. I can't move.
Kerry, I have a daughter like that now. Yeah, she's quite chubby. Yeah, but like obviously I've came to an agreement with like her mum that we're gonna put her on like a secret diet. Okay. So a diet that she doesn't know about. Yeah. And the reason why I'm doing this, is because of I had big friends. Yeah. So i.e. Matthew. He was like your arch rival in school. Big up to Matthew. Big up to Matthew. But me personally, because especially as I know how I was as a child, I've tried to prevent or put a nip it in the bud from early. Yeah, I hear you. So a secret diet because I don't want her to be conscious. Yeah. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So and I've tried to do that, and that's because of me growing around with big friends or even big family members. Yeah, and knowing the psychological effects it actually does have. 100%. They're not going to talk you. It doesn't come with a label on your shirt or on your head that this is bothering me. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Yeah. But I've tried to do that, and it's for those type of reasons. Do you get me?
I'm glad that you're doing that because you know what? When you're younger, and your family will always try to shield you and sugarcoat you. Do you get what I'm saying? Like your nan will be like, oh, like especially some West Indians, the majority of West Indians, you must stop eating and then put a big old plate of food in front of you. 100%. Which makes no sense. So they're showing you that love. You
or they start using your insecurity as your nickname.
Yeah.
Well, I'm fatty.
Yeah, exactly.
You get Uncle Belly.
Or they will. That's why I squeeze the belly. Come down.
You get me?
Or they'll cuss you like twice in the same sentence. Look how you're bigger and round. Yeah. Look how you're bigger and fat. Like, why would you have to emphasize that? Why do you have to emphasize that? Why do you have to do that?
100%.
But it's so important that like she feels the love. Do you know what I mean? Because even I remember, and once again, you see when I tell my story, what people were seeing, like, and I always say this, some people will call it inspirational, some people say I'm looking for a sob story. Whatever they're looking for, you're going to find it. So my piece is my piece. Do you get what I'm saying? 100%. So there's going to be people listening that might resonate to this and think, you know what, raw, like, it takes somebody to be vulnerable and see us. And when I say us, I mean us as black people to be vulnerable in order for them to feel like it's okay to be vulnerable. But I'll never forget the time I said to my mum, Mum, how do they know I'm fat when I'm wearing clothes? Do you know how mad that is? Like I used to think that because I'm wearing a jumper,
you could hide it.
I can hide it.
And that's real. That's where we laugh, but that is real shit.
Real shit.
Because it's like saying, how would someone know I have a scar underneath me if I'm wearing a jumper?
How would someone know that? You feel me? So I just know that it took a mental drainage on me, and only as I got older, I've realised how much that it impacted me still. Yeah.
So moving forward, you lost weight.
Yep.
How did that change your whole outlook on life? So you look in the mirror now, you can see a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What did that do to your confidence?
Right. So
the one the ex like, hey, y'all, I send you a picture.
You know, the thing is, everybody would think that that's what happened, but the majority of people that I know that I've spoken to about it, they said the one thing you didn't do is change.
100.
And the reason why I didn't change is because it would be a disservice to all those that loved me previously. because they saw me for what I was. So why would I now change and be this person? What I would say, it gave me more confidence to kind of go to certain environments, being able to go out to eat, being able to go to the cinema, being able to talk to girls, being able to kind of get to a point where I can go to shops now and buy clothes.
100%.
So when people see me now, like, don't get it twisted, I like a lot of designer, right? And I buy a lot of designer. And for some people, they might look at it as, oh yeah, man, just want to show that he's got money. And listen, what you got to understand is this, yeah? This is not about me being able to show that I've got money. Yes, I can afford it. Fantastic. And I thank God, right? But what I will say is this. You will never understand not being able to buy that because your size, you won't be able to fit in it. So when I buy it, it's a reflection of showing me, you know what, Kerry, look how far you've come
100%.
To a place where you can say, you know what, I can go to Dior, I can go to Gucci, I can go to Valentino and actually say, you know what, right, I can fit into their supposed sizes of what they think the normal world should be.
100%.
It's deeper than that.
100%.
Deeper
and I rate that.
100%.
I rate that.
So proud of you.
Thank you, man. Appreciate
I rate that still. Is there any message that you'll give just to let people know that are sort of on a similar journey that you was on?
Yeah.
Any, like, just quick before we touch on your, obviously your journey doing mental health, but is there anything that you can let people know, or
any words of wisdom?
Yeah, any
on their journey. If anybody, all right. Remember how you felt.
Yeah.
If anybody out there feeling that kind of way, what can you give them any little words of encouragement or wisdom?
There is always somebody out there, whether or not you believe it, that wants to support you. It's easy for you to think that you're going through everything by yourself, because like that's the common thing. We always think that we're isolated, but there's so much friendship circles and there's so many people that will say, you know what, like my boy Ryan, yeah, you remember Ryan? He used to come gym with me and he didn't need to go gym. He signed up to Bellingham Leisure Centre with me and he came gym with me. Man used to come with me. I used to pick him up right from his yard and we used to go to the gym. And that was an accountability partner that didn't need to come. And it's when you know that you've got somebody there that's actually rooting for you and in your corner, that's when you're like, you know what, I can do this. So what I would say is there's strength in vulnerability in saying, you know what, I need help. Just because you're asking for help doesn't mean you're failing. And I think a lot of us need to take that in on board, whether it's weight, whether it's business. Just because you're asking for help, it doesn't mean that you're failing. Because
a lot of the times when you don't ask for help, then you will fail.
100%. 100%. So ask for help and ask for people.
I rate that. I rate that. I rate that.
Gems this week.
Okay, so moving forward, so let me ask you, what is it you do so I don't get it wrong? You work alongside or within mental health.
Yeah.
You have a mental health organization.
Yeah.
What do you do?
So day to day, I actually work in prop tech, right? So I'm going to give you a piece of the story still. So I'm working for a prop tech company. And then before that I was in insurance. And I remember I was on Facebook when Facebook was popular, 2016 or 17. And I remember seeing these stories like, we need to be doing more to support the kids, we need to be doing more of that, blah, 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 blah. And then I started to type in, yes, and I started thinking to myself, what am I doing? I'm talking a whole load of things on Instagram, Facebook, sorry. What am I doing? So I cut my days down to 4 days a week. Right, and I started volunteering in 2 secondary schools, right? And I was wondering why God's put me on this journey, because like I'm getting up and I'm like, nah, God, I know you want me to help the kids, but why are you putting me on this journey volunteering? Long story short, or trying to keep a long story short, it got to COVID. And then it got to COVID and they were only letting the needed members of staff in the school. So I couldn't volunteer anymore, right? But then I started working as a freelance, doing a lot of stuff with an organisation. So I used to give that parents respite and stuff like that and take the children out and have conversations, blah, blah, blah. But then what I realised throughout all of this is that all the work that I'm doing is going to be undone if the household setup that I'm bringing them to
is no good.
Is no good, bro. So then I was like, COVID licked. Going through COVID, started feeling a certain way, and I'm like, nah, what is this about? Like, why am I feeling this way? And why am I not comfortable in saying that I'm struggling? Do you know what I mean? Mentally. So I said, all right, cool. I want to do something for the man them. What can I do that would basically bring the man them together, but not kind of push mental health at the forefront of it, so to speak? So I use football. Cool. So I said, you know what, cool. So I made a space where every other Friday, man them would come and play football for free. They don't have to worry about the fee, because I knew that for some man, they won't admit they can't afford it. So if we take away that, there's no reason for you not to join. So we started with that, and we started seeing men coming. And then it started with like 7, then it got to 14. Now we're just literally just always oversubscribed, basically. So then I realized that, wow, like, this is something that I could use. And then we started to say, you know what, from that, now let's say, for example, you know what, I know Bugsy from football. Because I know him from football, I can now speak openly about how I feel, rather than just coming into a space where it's just like, yeah, my name's Kerry and I'm going through something, because I don't know you. But football has brought us together. Open
a social conversation.
You get what I'm saying? So we've brought us together. So from there, I decided, you know what? I'm going to build on this to start doing the men's forum. So we have a men's forum the last Thursday of every month, for space where men come and talk about anything that they're going through. More time it's just we're talking a whole bunch of foolishness. But sometimes even that's just needed. Do you get what I'm saying? So then it got to a point where last year, I was on the phone to my brethren, and I said to her, I'm going to the gym. And she's like, at this time? I was like, yeah, I'm going to the gym. She's like, oh, I can't go at this time of night. So I'm like, it's only 6 o'clock. She's like, no, I can't go at that time. So in my head, I've already got plans lined up to set up the women's football team. Yeah. But then when she said that, I was like, hold on a second.
What's wrong with her? Is there something going on?
Why can't she do that? Right. So then I started asking other women, and lo and behold, like, I started doing my stats, and it says that 1 in 3 women will suffer sexual or physical abuse. Yeah. Then let's take into consideration, those are the ones that's reported. So if that is 1 in 3, and that's only reported, we can only imagine what's not reported. Then we can only imagine how much is going on in the households that we don't know about. So then my shift was like, this ain't about a football team. This is about how do we protect the women. So this is why I decided, okay, cool, I need to get an instructor to provide free self-defense classes for women. So that's now why we got free self-defense classes for women every Tuesday, Bellingham Leisure Centre. So they're able to learn self-defense, situational awareness, conflict resolution as well. And then they've got a space as well for women to actually speak. So the main aim of this organisation, going long-winded, is to get to a place where men and women can start having conversations together. So now when we tackle the youths, they're coming home to an environment where we know how to conflict resolution. We know how to engage with each other. We know how things happen, co-parent. Do you know what I mean? So that's the whole aim and the premise, and we're just getting started. Can't even lie, we're just getting started.
That's tough.
That's tough. That's major.
What is the name of your organisation?
Saving Souls. So just to go briefly into it, because a lot of people straight away say, oh, it must be a religious thing. Yeah,
sounds it. Sounds pretty Pentecostal.
Yeah.
Gospel.
So to give you the backstory, this started with an idea that I had within my church to start a football team within my church, but it wasn't the right time. It wasn't God's timing to do it then. Do you know what I mean? And then I said I'm still gonna keep the name Saving Souls, right? But one thing you'll find with me is that I don't believe in religion. I have a relationship with God. Whatever anybody believes in, that's totally up to them. I'm not downplaying anything. I'm not downplaying religion. I'm not downplaying what anybody believes in. Whether you believe in Allah, God, Buddha, positive energy, Arsenal, whatever you believe in to make you a better person, that's what I'm here for. Do you get what I'm saying? But I know what I believe in. But souls is so much deeper than God and holy.
100%.
It's what we have in our mind. Do you know what I mean? Like, we hear, oh, she's a beautiful soul. Do you get what I'm saying? It's so much deeper than that. So what we want to do is that whether or not they come to Christ or come to church or anything like that, if we stop somebody out of depression, suicide, anxiety, we've saved a soul. We've saved a beautiful soul that can grow and blossom and actually be what they want to be.
Big.
So this is what it's really about. So the whole saving souls thing is not about saying, okay, cool, we're going to dip you into the water now and you must come to Christ. No, let's save your soul so that you're able to embark on the journey that what God has called for.
100. I respect that.
That's
highly.
Sick. That's deep, and that's deep, man.
Yeah, it's deeper than.
It's not as straight as it looks on the tin.
Yeah, real.
For real.
So with you doing that, okay, what are the benefits or the feel good factors that you felt from doing what you do? So give us, I would like an example, sort of like a situation where you've pulled someone out of something,
yeah,
and it makes you feel like it's work well done. Because surely you have a number of people, you can't sort of have the same results with everybody.
Yeah.
But there must be some that stand out, that keep this going. Do you know what I mean? Because if you was to do this thing, I'll give it to you in another light, and you weren't really seeing the benefits out of it, would you still carry on doing it?
The reason why I would still carry on doing it is because it's not about the quantity of people that you help. Sometimes it's the quality of people that you help.
100%.
If there's a whole load of people that are out there that, you know what, because one thing I need to put in there as well, this is about the prevention of mental health and the improvement of well-being. We're not trying to basically get people to come when they're there. We're trying to make them not get there. Because that is where, and especially for in our cultures, it's don't tell nobody your business. Right? And for a lot of the men, it's big boys don't cry. So when you get to 30 and you can't tell nobody your business and you're not allowed to cry, why you think you got man them on the road shouting Jesus and all of this, and you're thinking, oh, but what happened from here to there for them to get there? What actually happened?
100%.
You feel me? 100%. So one of the examples, and I love this, is that when somebody said to me, I've come off my antidepressants for the last 5 months. When you hear that, and that weren't because of me, that's because of the brotherhood that we created in the footballing community. Because my thing has always been this: it's all gonna well say, Kerry, you're the founder and everything like that, and that's cute. Thank you very much. Applauds, blah blah blah. Awards, thank you. Right? I can go Wix, go B&Q, Homebase, and buy all the tools and the materials to build a house. Yeah,
you don't know how to build it,
and it could take me 10 years to build it. Dan, yeah, 10 years to build it. Or I can go and get all the materials, say, yo, Bugs, hold that. Dan, hold that. Brother, hold that. My brother, hold that. Let's build this together. And it might take us 1 year. And you know what that's going to do as well? You see, when everybody tries to graffiti all over our property, it's not, oh, it's Kerry's property. No, this is our home. This is our community. This is our brotherhood.
100%.
Do you get what I'm saying?
100%.
So we've got a community. Take away the stories that you have. We've got a community of people together, both men and women now, that have met people that they wouldn't even interact with. And we're talking about different age ranges.
And are all willing to protect their self as a community. I
can show you some testimonials on my phone, yeah? And I can show you some things where, because what we do before a game, and we haven't had we used to be in a league and we won that league, but that's a whole different ball game because we were winning. Do you know what it was? We won the league, we won the double, and it was so easy. Horrible as it sounds, we were good. Yeah, we were good. We were really good, right? The problem was, what didn't sit right with me is that how many men are going there and playing this and then going home having a madness because they got smoked 15. It defeats the object. So I'm looking at that from that angle.
Oh,
do you get what I'm saying? So there's times, and the man them can tell you, bro, because listen, people can comment on underneath. They can listen, brothers, do what you need to do. Comment. How many times have I said louder showboating? Don't do that. I don't like that. No, allow it, please.
Because it now knocks someone else.
You get what I'm saying? So the community side of thing was always so important for me to build that, and I think we've actually got to a stage now where we're looking at building a bit further and getting more people in.
Big.
That's tough.
So what have you learned on the journey about mental health? Because mental health comes in so many forms, and I was saying this to someone the other day. Like for me, there's somebody around me, and I think they're heading that way.
Yeah.
You get me? I've seen a couple things, yeah. And if you try and speak to them about it, they're obviously gonna say there's nothing wrong with them. They're never gonna say, oh yeah, I'm popping down in it and I'm going crazy. Help me. Like, so what? How do you do it?
I learned that being vulnerable is a strength and not a weakness. Don't get it twisted, I'm not perfect at it. But I've learned that, you know what, with us, we need to see people like ourselves talking about mental health and well-being openly for us to feel like it's acceptable. And the problem is, what it does, it's about acknowledgement and responsibility, in my opinion. So ignorance is bliss. And the reason why I say that is this, and once again, I will never ever try to change anybody's opinion. My thing is always this: I'll never try to change your opinion, I'll just like to make you think. That's all it is. So for example, everybody knows, I said it earlier, I'm a wing connoisseur. I love wings, yeah? Somebody that's a vegan might come and say to me, you know what? The vegan lifestyle is the best way to eat. It's more healthier, plant-based products and stuff like that. And you know what? I know that myself, right? Then they might say to me, go and watch something on Netflix that will show you how meat is produced and how milk is and everything like that, right? But I love meat. So I don't want to watch that. And the reason I don't want to watch that is because if I watch that, that gives me now a decision to make, and I'm responsible for whatever happens now.
And I don't want to stop loving meat.
And I don't want to stop loving eating wings. Yeah. So what I won't do.
Eating the pork.
Pardon? Oh yeah, bacon. Yeah. I can't even lie to you, bro. I can't even lie to you. Yeah.
I have a saying, right? That like this saying is like, come about a month ago when I was took a little trip away, and I was there and I was actually walking down the road and I thought to myself, you know what? I refuse to have an argument or any form of confrontation with anyone that eats pork. Yeah. Right? Because this is an ungodly argument.
Yeah.
Now, do you know what's funny about this, yeah? And it's not me being judgmental.
No, cool.
But even people that believe in the Bible, they separate themselves from the whole not eating pork stuff, right? Because in everyone's eyes, it's more of a Muslim thing, or do you get me? Now in the Bible it states, thou shalt not eat pork.
Is it?
You didn't even know that, did you?
No, I didn't.
That is one of the forbidden things. Obviously it also says you must bless what you're eating and go forth and eat it, but it actually says don't eat pork. But that was just a little funny thing for myself, where I was walking down the road one day and I thought, you know what, I see a man eating a black as a sausage roll or something. I thought, you know what, I refuse to argue with anybody.
So this is where it comes into me personally, the belief of the whole concept of religion. Because what I feel like sometimes, and not saying this all the time, what I feel like sometimes it's when it's convenient. 100%. So for example, like, do you remember when H&M did the thing called The Coolest Monkey in the Jungle?
Wild.
And there was a whole load of us saying that we're going to boycott H&M and we're not going to go to H&M.
That was soon as summer comes, like 3 days.
Soon as summer comes and you need shorts and t-shirt, now so it's a convenience thing.
100%.
When it suits you, and your narrative can't be based on your convenience.
100%.
Like, stand for what you stand for. Not, I heard a saying that said opportunity will question people's loyalties.
1 million.
When I heard that, I was like, wow, okay, cool. So this is where we're going. So going back to the vegan side of things, right? I won't put myself in that position and watch it, because now it gives me a responsibility.
100%.
Because now I can't even blame anybody else but me, because I've watched it, they've told me not to eat it, and I've nammed it. So you know what, ignorance is bliss. So with regards to like mental health and well-being, what I feel like for some people is, if I acknowledge that maybe something's going on with me, right, this is going to open up some unhurt trauma
I have to confront
from past that I'm going to have to deal with.
100%.
Because I'm going to ask you a lot of question. Do you remember a lot of the bad things in your childhood? When you were like, let's say for example, from the age of 4 to 8.
See, for me, I always say this, I left Birmingham when I was 3. And I can remember a man from Birmingham when I was 3 years old.
Yeah.
And I can remember him clearly. Like yesterday. Like it was yesterday that I saw this brother. Like and when I told my big brother about it and I described him to my big brother, my big brother started crying. You get me?
Mad.
My big brother started bawling. You get me? Because I don't know how or why.
Yeah.
I just know that I know this dude.
And what about yourself?
You see, majority of my childhood, I remember majority good things.
Good.
I think I've tried to, not saying that I've had the maddest life, but I don't remember, or maybe it's been subconscious, but I've tried to put the good things of my upbringing at the forefront, because I do know that 7 is the age of shaping.
100%. I'm glad that you touched on that.
Yes, 7 is the age of shaping, and you get me, that will shape you for your life.
So
do you understand?
So I'll put this to you. Imagine how many of us have gone through so much trauma that we've not actually unpacked and discussed, that we're hurting from that young age, that we remember we've gone through. Why do you think our kids won't feel the same? Why do you think our kids won't look at what we're going through? And if we don't unpack what we say, and we always talk about, oh, we want to do what's the best for our kids and stuff like that, yeah? If we don't unpack what we're dealing with, yeah, they're going to see exactly what we saw when we were younger growing up in us.
100%.
And that's why it was so important for me to focus on the adults and focus on us. Because for me, like, we go through ish. Like, we go through, like, I have to, even just the littlest things of like I take myself for example, right? My cousins, and we had this conversation, right? My cousins, really well known in the ends, yeah? I wanted to be like that. They didn't put that pressure on me, but I wanted to be like that. I wanted to be around that and roll with that and everything like that. I wanted to be all around that. And in my head, I took on the role of, nah, if I'm not like this, I'm not representing the name right. They didn't tell me that. They wanted me far clear of it. But mentally, I was like, nah, I need to be this way. I need to do this. So there's so much stuff that we tell ourselves from young. And this is why I'm so like, and maybe people can say that maybe because you haven't got kids that you don't get it, right? But you see the pressures that they put on these young kids to make it as footballers, yeah? Like these 7, 8-year-olds, right? Please, parents, be careful, because I'm telling you from now, there are some kids out there that are thinking, okay, do you know what? From 8, I'm the man of the house. I got to take care of mummy. And they're doing football consistently. They wanted to do everything and they're getting tired, but they can't give up. The amount of pressures that we're putting on some of these kids are mad.
And then when it doesn't work out for them, then obviously that's a whole new problem. That's a whole new problem.
You know, touching on that, my cousin's friend, you remember? DeMarjo's friend from Man City. They never gave him a pro contract.
Yeah.
The boy went home and killed himself.
Yeah.
And that was documented. So there's a lot more other situations like this.
No, cause I imagine, yeah. Imagine you're this is what I'm saying. You're shaped. You lot said it from 7. So you're playing for Man City's whatever youth club area from 7. You're there. So you're 8. You're there. You're 10. You're there. You're 11 there. You're there all the way to your 16. You've been shaped. I'm Man City.
Yeah.
And then they say to you, no, you're not.
But mad.
And it's sad, because what the sad thing about it is that we've got to a stage where good is not even good anymore. So you want brilliant, but you don't even want good.
Good, innit? 100%.
So you want Man City, but you won't even think of Watford. You want enough. Arsenal, and you won't even think of QPR. And it's sad, because for this generation, I feel like, what I will say about social media is this, right? Is that if I put a knife in the hands of a murderer, probably be a bad idea. But if I put a knife in the hands of a chef, probably make me a good meal. So we can't ban knives. It's the same thing with social media. I feel like it's who's in front of it. Do you get what I'm saying? And what you gotta understand is for some of these, not even some of these generation, our generation as well. I took myself away from social media for 2 years. And the reason why I did that, and this is what helped my mental health and well-being, is because I stopped comparing myself to other people.
100%.
Because I was looking at what they were doing and thinking I'm not doing enough.
Listen.
That's one of the biggest illnesses.
1 million %.
Comparison is the thief of
so
joy.
Basically, it's a drug and a knife. Yeah. Trust me, with like it's mad, and I truly believe what you're saying because I say it myself.
Yeah.
Like social media is not made for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you see there's certain people that are not, they don't really have their, you see if you haven't got your own mind,
yeah,
okay, or if you haven't got the mental strength to be able to say no, or discipline,
yeah,
social media can act as bad as a drug as crack or heroin or all of these 100%. Other things.
Social media breaks up happy homes.
Yeah,
girls are comparing relationships to things that ain't real.
What this person should be. Yeah.
And the thing is now, if a girl comes to you with that argument, and I don't want to be mood, I'm gonna say to her, "You're mad. You're crazy. How can you bring this to me? It's not real."
Yeah.
You're proper like Nino.
But what social media is
mad.
What social media is also doing as well, yeah, is you're getting certain people that, don't get twisted, there's certain people that need to be cancelled. Don't get twisted, I'm not saying that, right? I'm not saying there's not people that need to be cancelled. But you're seeing certain people cancelling themselves and people cancelling them, but they are the same people that have these same thoughts or do these same things, but they just never got caught on camera.
1 million.
And this is where it frustrates me sometimes, because I'm like, we've got all this stuff to comment. Listen, one thing you see from me, you go through my social media, I don't comment on anything, you know. I don't comment on any foolishness. I like laugh in terms of like funny posts, but in terms of what people are being accused of and stuff like that, don't comment on that stuff, because for me, yeah, there's so much stuff that people are doing outside of this, yeah, that might have the same thought. The only difference is you're not on Shea Borough.
100.
The only difference is you're not on Graham Daily. The only difference is that you haven't got that. And this is where it goes back to, like, you see with this younger generation as well. You see, if we got bullied in secondary school, yeah, we're getting bullied, we're going home, yeah, the bullying stops. You see, if they get bullied, they're going home and it's continuing.
100%.
They're walking to school. They're walking past St. Joseph's. If they go Blackheath Lucas, let's say, for example, they're walking past St. Joseph, and St. Joseph man saying, "Oh yeah, you're from Black." They're getting bullied from every single different school, bro.
100%.
There's so much more with the power of social media now that it's affecting a lot of people's well-being, because they're not looking at good as good anymore. Good is just deemed as, it's a basic thing.
100%. I have my own personal views on it. I actually think that social media, a lot of it, 90% of it is fake. It's an illusion.
Yeah.
From when, like, even me, like, I'm proper shit on social media. I know anyone that follows my social media, you'll see this. I can't even keep up with it, yeah, because I actually have a real life to keep up with.
Yeah.
Now, you see, when it comes to even terms of posting, a lot of you never really see no one on social media post a bad picture 100%. Or with their self without makeup, or with their self looking like muddy or dirty or not so fresh. So it allows you to take a picture today, right, and then come up with 3 days to come up with a caption that's now going to match this picture that we're going to put out to the masses and make people make judgment on that.
100%.
And that is where it is so fake to me, because when you meet someone face to face, right, the caption is the things that come out of your mouth. That is the conversation and the words that come out of your mouth. I greet you, this is how we speak. Yo, boom, boom, boom.
I went somewhere and I saw a girl, and you know, she said, "That's Area Man Bugsy." Whoa.
Yeah.
It's mad.
Like, whoa. That's like...
But you know what's mad about it, yeah? And I was having this conversation to myself the other day, because I talk to myself a lot. Like, doesn't mean I'm mad. I talk to myself a lot.
I talk to myself.
Yeah,
I got caught today.
Yeah, it makes more sense about it. People look at me and think to myself, like, yeah, this guy's
something. Proper catch today, having a full-on convo with myself.
Yeah.
I said, "Who's that?" I said, blood, I'm just talking to myself. I do that, innit? I do that.
It's easier.
I do that.
But you know why social media is scary is because, like, this is why people fall out with people as well. Because you think you know people because you've got brethren on social media. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, no, maybe we should link up now. Like, maybe we should have a conversation, blah. And you're like, bro, this person is not like me. Nah, she's this, she's that, or he's this, he's that, blah, 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 blah. It's not real a lot of the time.
And I dare you not like someone's stuff.
Let me tell you something from now, yeah? If I walk down Lewisham High Street and 2 people said to me, oh, you look good, you know? I'd be like, oh, thank you. But you mean to tell me if I put it on Instagram
and only two
people like that,
Aye.
I see people take that down, you know?
Mad.
I see people take that whole thing down.
Nuts. There's the mind
I see people take the whole thing down and repost it later and repost it later to see if more people are active then. Wildness.
That's why Instagram gave you the option to hide how much likes you get.
Bro, why do you think people do that?
You can turn off the like count now.
Wildness.
Instagram have added that.
Turn off how many people.
You can post and turn off so that no one can see how much people like.
Listen, you go on my Instagram now. Dan is 100% right, because I'm guilty of this, because I'm not coming to say that I'm away from this. You go on my Instagram now, yeah. Every single picture you see, I've come out of the barbers.
100.
Every single picture you see, I've come out of the barbers. 100. And if I haven't come out of the barbers, I got a hat on.
And I bet you didn't take the picture before you went in the barbers.
One damn right, I didn't. But I'll tell you something from now, there's a caption underneath there as well, saying something about BO you can be.
Yeah.
Because I feel good about myself at that point.
100%.
But there was a lot of time, bro. Like, over the last 2 years, like, if I touch on something deep, my sister passed, right? There were times, yeah, where I'm putting these captions out, yeah, and I'm at my lowest, bro.
100%.
I'm at my lowest.
1 million.
The mental health organization that I've got, the football, the brotherhood that I've got, yeah, they will never know. And this is why God is amazing, is that who knew the thing that I made, yeah, would be the thing that keeps me alive today.
100%.
In my mental health. Because, listen, I'm just being honest, I'm being open. When my sister died, yeah, it was at a point where I was like, hold on a second. I still got my mum, my nan, my other brothers and sisters. Like, my aunt. If this is the pain that you feel when you lose somebody that close, I got to go through that again. I don't want to go through that. And then on top of that, I'm like, but hold on a second. I've got my nieces and my nephews now. All right, cool. So now I've got to step up and be Uncle Kerry / Daddy Kerry. Do you get what I'm saying? Mm. So me grieve. Listen. I haven't even grieved yet. I know that for a fact, and I'm scared, Ruboy. I'm scared. I can all tell you one time I was driving up Whitefoot Lane. Mariah Carey came on Without You, start bawling. Yeah, and then the first thing I did was this. Can I swear? Yeah. What are you doing, you pussy, yo? What are you doing? What are you crying for? You mad? Bro, you just lost your sister. You're allowed to cry. But I've been told and felt from young, I got to keep that in. Mm-hmm. And especially as men, there's a lot of stuff that and this is just for like listen, we talk as men, we talk about, we want women to be our peace, but in the same breath, we still need to communicate with women in order for them to know what peace looks like. 100%. So we got to play our part. 100%. But what I will say for women is that some of the times, the reason why we don't tell you, because there's an added pressure of us worrying about you now on top of worrying about, because you're worrying about us. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So a lot of the times we won't say anything because I'm like, now I'm worrying about you, because like more time, it should be this way. As a man, you want to be a protector. So you want to shield your missus. You want to shield the women in your family from anything. Do you get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So you even knowing that I'm struggling, I can't even tell you that. And it's sad that we're in this society, because you being the one person that I should be able to call on, I should call on. But that's not down to a you problem. That's a me problem of what I'm growing up with.
And I was going to go back to that, right? I fully understand where you're coming from. And I want to hit on, you see us coming from black families. How do you feel mental health was deemed, looked at and dealt with back then? Because what my experience is that there's a lot of there's shielding, but in the wrong way.
Yeah.
So they'll prefer other people to not know.
Yep.
Yeah, or they wouldn't deal with the situation at hand. They might just look at you and say you're a naughty kid, or you're a bad boy, or you're a bad girl, and not look at the actual root of the problem. And then they wouldn't get you the help you needed. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
100%.
Usually it's only when it spirals out of control, then do you understand where I'm coming from?
And do you see why I say the prevention of mental health
that's real.
And the improvement? Because it's things like this, and where you got to understand, and once again I always say this is my opinion, right? We've come from a place where we've always tried to feel like we're enough. We've always tried to feel that we are doing the best that we can. So if your child comes along, especially where there's some young women that have children young, right? And if they have children young, and let's say, for example, the father's not on the scene, their priority is to make sure people know that I've done the best job. So if there's any sort of problems within that child or anything like that, they're not going to say anything. Because for some of them, you might get the family looking at, oh, that's a reflection of me. That's because of my parenting. That's because I've done this. And it's not that. Do you get what I'm saying? And I feel like the problem is as we say, we're growing up in our environment, and I just feel like there was always a stage of where we can't tell anybody anything because of what it looks like.
Yeah, form of weakness.
Sorry, yeah, just to say one thing. If you think about it now in our secondary school, yeah, how many people would you think now, even you, go back to your secondary school, when you think about it now, how many people now would you say, you know what, if we brought this day and age now into our secondary school, how many people would you say, you know what, they're on the borderline of mental health and well-being?
A good few.
Loads. Bare, man.
But all we used to say, they just need a box.
Pure man in school.
They need a beating.
Pure man in school.
Look at this Madu, ADHD.
I want to ask both of you, yeah? It's a question that you can both answer.
Yes.
How do you think Caribbean families deal with mental health?
I believe that they overlook it to a certain extent, and a lot of it is because you got to realize family names, maybe not so much now, but back then were a big thing. Family reputation. Okay, now like the jobs you done, even if we had someone in our family that might have went to prison, that was kept hush hush.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm trying to say? Because they don't want that label stuck to the family.
100%.
Me personally.
Yeah, I would agree with that. But what I will add on it is that I think the problem is, for me, is that a lot of the times we just accept that this is what it's going to be, and things are hereditary, and we don't look at breaking cycles. So we look at, for example, oh, I've got high blood pressure, but it comes from the family lineage. What do we know? What can we do to maybe say, you know what, well, maybe grandma was eating a madness. Maybe she was saying, you know, maybe we should cut that out. We shouldn't accept because it's been here, it needs to go all the way down. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, there's things that we can do. And I think what I've realized as well, because I if I'm being real, like, I think I had this opinion that there's so much more that like our parents' generation could have done to shield us from certain things. Yeah, right. I had that opinion. I can't even lie, right? But as I get older and I realize, you know what, a lot of them were just doing the best that they could do with the situation that they've had. You know what I mean? And for me to come and be judgmental and saying this could have been this and this could have been that, no. Okay, cool. How can we facilitate and support? How can we help and break that so it doesn't go down to the next generation? You know what I mean?
100. And you got to realise, right? It's even saying that there's a lot of our grandparents and good grandparents that couldn't read and write. Yeah. Yeah. Real. But I'll tell you one thing. They made the sickest housewives.
100%.
They built strong families with the tools that they were given.
Yeah.
Okay. So even the likes of allowing mum to go out and work, we didn't have to find nurseries and babysitters. Yeah, we didn't have outside people babysitting our kids. That was done by grandma. So we didn't have, do you get what I'm trying to say? A lot, but what we did have, we made the most of. And that's why you still have to a certain extent, once they were more focused on raising that family.
Grandparents, in my opinion, grandparents passing is a lot of reasons why there's a lot of divides in families now.
1,000,000%.
Because there was always that one home that everyone will go to.
See, once grandma dies, everyone's spending Christmas at their
different yachts, and then it leads on to, you don't even know that's your cousin, that's your cousin, and you're beefing that person. You get what I'm saying? Like, and I could be here for days, but obviously I don't want to keep everyone. But what I will say is this: you see the man them, the man them are on road, still doing road, One thing, listen, the only one person I fear is, and I don't even fear God. And the reason why I say I don't fear God is because, and I don't mean that to sound arrogant, right? I can't fear a father that loves me, When people say that he's God-fearing, this is my opinion, right? You want to be able to come to your father and be able to speak to your father. If it's out of fear, you won't tell them anything that's going on.
So you respect God.
And this is what stops people from feeling like they can talk to people or talk to God. It's out of fear. So I don't fear God in that sense. But what I'm basically saying is that I don't have any problems with anybody. You know me, But in the same breath, I will have no problems with rocking anybody, But my thing is this: you see certain men that are constantly on road. You know, when I see certain man look at me a certain way, I say, "Oh, go on, my brother, you good?" I see the relief come off of them, because it's something that, do you know what? I don't have to be like this 24/7. You see the relief, and I'm not saying I know. I'm not saying I know road. I'm not saying I know road. But what I am saying is that I've embraced people where it's just like, raw, I can stop being that for a while, because it's a strenuous thing, fam. Like, just thinking constantly 24/7, and that's another thing that leads to the mental health, bro.
100.
You don't know who you can trust. You don't know who's this.
It's a coat of armor. How long can you wear a coat of? Anyone that wears coats of armor only has them on for a duration of time.
Let me tell you,
before it starts weighing them down. You
can be the baddest man on road, If I put you in Iceland in a vest, you're gonna catch a cold as well, Same way as me.
And if we're still gonna catch cold. And if you got a stacked shelf, you're gonna feel like a rat fucking pussy. So it go. But what? They go jail and work for 50p a day.
Man was talking about the country Iceland.
Oh, what you was talking about? Well, I still stick by what I'm saying. Man go jail. Bad man go jail, work for £1 a day.
Yeah, but you see what that is? That's what I'm saying, man.
Bad man go jail and work for £1 a day.
You see what that is? That's man's mental as well, bro. Man think it's alright to work in prison, but it's not alright to work on road.
Madder.
That's because,
you see, that's one thing that you won't catch me talking about, because what I'm not going to portray is a lifestyle of knowing all of that. Do you get what I'm saying?
No,
and you see what's mad is that, and this is why it's sad with social media, is because there's a lot of people that have platforms that are able to talk about that and think that they know everything about that. And my thing is this, like, you see, when you're good at something, nobody's gonna have to, you don't have to tell nobody,
Yeah.
People are gonna tell you.
Yeah.
100.
Do you get what I'm saying? You don't have to tell nobody nothing. People are gonna tell you, and that's not just
DJ,
people.
Why you laugh?
That's just people. That's just things in general. That's life. That's just life.
Money pull-ups.
You get what I'm saying? You can talk about, I'm the maddest baller on ends. Okay, no, we know because you're at Tottenham. We know because you're at Arsenal. We know because you're at Man United.
100.
Like, you don't have to tell me that.
100.
You get what I'm saying?
Facts.
So, yeah, I mean, it's sad that we're in this day and age. But my thing is, I'll leave it on. My thing is just that I just want to provide a space for the man them.
Before you go,
I just want to provide a space for the man them.
Do that thing.
Okay.
Ask the three of them. Let's just. There's 3 people in here.
Me being one of them?
Yeah. One of them. You lot answer the question.
Okay, cool. Name me your favourite footballer
of all time?
Yeah. Top 3.
Top 3. Ooh, it's a little bit hard. This one, isn't it?
Yeah, quick. I need
maybe
quick
a Salah.
Yeah. Quick top 3 quickly. Quick round.
Mbappe,
Nah, Ronaldo.
Yeah, quick round.
And Adriano.
Okay, cool. Top 3. Name your top 3 footballers.
I've just got one.
Okay, 1.
Ian Wright.
Ian Wright, cool. Name your top 3.
Ian Wright, Ronaldinho, and original Ronaldo.
Okay, cool. Top 3 best foods. Best food. Favorite foods.
Ackee and saltfish.
Yeah.
Fried fish.
Yeah.
And
Chips.
avocado.
Okay, cool. Top 3 foods.
Yo,
Fish.
Yeah.
I like this game.
Curry prawns.
Yeah.
Ackee and saltfish.
Quick. Top 3.
Oxtail.
Bacon and sausage.
I like a shepherd's pie.
Yeah. one more. Quick fire.
Quick fire, man.
Apple crumble.
Okay, cool. Name the 3 people you love the most. Quick.
Kids, mum,
Yep. Quick.
Babe mother.
Stop.
Go.
Kids, mum, and them.
Quick.
Go.
Kids, mum, brothers, and
Wicked. Out of all of that, none of you even said yourself. You don't even love yourself. You're so quick to name other people that you don't even love yourself. And it's not to say you don't love yourself.
Just comes
but
back
the
saying,
instinct, the instinct is always to look after somebody else. The instinct is always to protect and provide and love somebody else. And when I hear this thing about our self-love genuinely has to start with you loving yourself.
100.
Don't allow your happiness to be in somebody else's hands. Happiness needs to start with you, and then that person that comes into your life complements it and adds to that happiness. This is why when people see me go to Arsenal by myself, and I go out to eat by myself, and I go to dinner by myself, I go to the cinema by myself, people might think I'm mad, but you see what I'm starting from now? I'm not going to allow nobody to allow my happiness to be taken away, where if I think, you know, if they can't come,
That's why you know he's my cousin.
Come on.
If
I know why
they
you.
can't come,
I know why you do it.
I'm like that.
so I can eat more. Because I know you.
Hey, your 3 favorite foods.
Boy, wings,
Yeah.
bacon,
Yeah.
prawns.
Yeah. Your 3 favorite footballers.
Burkamp, Ian Wright, Thierry.
3 favorite rappers.
Ooh, Eminem, 50, Ludacris.
Who do you love the most? 3 people.
And the thing is, what's so funny about it, because I know the game,
Yeah.
I still won't even say myself how mad it is.
Do you get it?
Because
And do you know
it's that
what
mad.
that is? And do you know what that is?
Yeah.
That's because you see, when you're a loving person,
Yeah.
certain things come without saying.
Yeah.
You have to, but I fully understand that.
Yeah.
But when you're a loving person, you naturally, as you said, you're a protector.
100%.
You're one of these stuff, and the last person you really do protect out of every one of these
Yeah.
people that we speak about is ourselves.
But you know what I've learned? I'll tell you what I've learned, is that if I don't love myself, I can't even support the people I love the
I was
most.
gonna say, isn't showing love to other people a form of self-love anyway? Because in order for you to be able to do that, you need to love yourself.
So let me answer your question. If you, right, are basically running on empty, and you're basically going around fixing everybody else's yard, but you come home and your house is a shithole, what love are you showing to your house?
What love are you showing yourself?
Because the environment that you're in.
I suppose it's your mindset at that point, right? So it's okay for I know a guy, right?
Yeah.
Millionaire.
Wicked.
Sleep in a single bed, no curtains. Didn't care about sheets. He had a couple of them sitting down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And his thing was, I want to come home and I want to feel that pressure, right? I want to feel that as something that makes me and motivates me to get up and go. And I suppose perspective is something that often we use in different scenarios, right? So we're going to a game and someone says, you play football, right? And you hear that comment and To me, I could retaliate with the same thing, or that's what actually gets me up in the game, and I'm like, yeah, I needed you to do that because I'm going to turn up, right?
Yeah.
So it's about turning that kind of negative to a positive, and I think as black men, those are the time we've spent our time doing that. So we've kind of come accustomed to being able to turn negatives into positives. So I kind of feel like not all situations kind of warrant us saying that we don't look back at ourselves, and that actually I think is completely opposite. I think we do look back, and I think we are conscious that if we don't look after ourselves, we can't look after anybody, because there are times when you'll go, you know what, I actually can't do it. loads of my friends in that I know anyway will say, no, I won't. I can't do that. It's because it's to my detriment. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or,
so would you agree that's a form of loving yourself then? If they say no, they can't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, okay, cool.
Absolutely. I think we've even come to the point where you're open about what part of something that you're doing together is your share, or what, do you know what I mean? And I just think naturally, I think we're becoming more, you know what I mean, accustomed to being able to deal with it. I'm not to say that nobody isn't going for it, and I work in a similar industry as well, so I see it readily, and it's definitely more prevention than it is the cure right now. And the prevention is where the work is being done, and it's because for us, our age group, we are quite lucky that social media was never our focus.
100%.
Right? So and even now to this day, that's why you don't post. That's why, because it's just weird. No matter how much you know it works, no matter what it is, it's still just weird.
100%.
Still don't even want. We still got the same email that says 1, 2, 3 Kingman in the. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and these kids have grown up in front of that camera, right? And you could ask 1 million of those kids that are sitting there on social media going blah blah blah, I'm pretty. But if you ask them to come and sit on a podcast and talk and open up, they would never be able to do that, right? And they can't live there on the camera. And I think we just, I don't know, that's where the work.
But you know what I love about this, and this is what I love about it, is because it's something that you said is key. Everything's perspective. And for me, and I think I said this at the top of the conversation that we had, some people will say this is inspirational. Some people might think this is a sub story, or I'm showing off. Whatever the person is looking for, they will find, and it's perspective. And I think that what is good about your perspective there is that if we have more people having different perspective of what self-love looks like, then we could actually get to a stage where people identify. So if you can't identify self-love and what I think self-love is, you might be able to identify what self-love is with my man, and it's like, okay, cool. So this is what love looks like to me. Do you get what I'm saying?
100. All right, quick before you go.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So you see how I'm in tune with all the little bad youths and that on the road and that. I speak to a few of them.
Challenged.
I can see, challenged. But you know, I'm just speaking in lingo. I can see a few of them are going through things. If I wanted to open up a dialogue with them, what advice would you give me about how to go about that?
That's a good question.
I think it's a bit of a difficult one, because the reason why I say that is because where I was working in the schools, it gave me a lot of time. So what I would do is I would wear certain things that made me look like them. So for example, if they saw me in Air Max 95, they're like, so you got Air Max 95s? I'm like, what do you know about Air Max 95? That starts a conversation. Do you get what I'm saying? And straight away from that conversation, later on, we started being able to say, so how's things? And we have that kind of dialogue.
No,
right?
This is what I'm saying. I've already done it. I'm in with them.
I already wear Air Max 95s.
Okay, so
I already roll. I want man them and crack jokes with them, and when but I would like, if I wanted to get on a deeper level with them, because you see what some of the youths they're really challenging. And you see, if you was to like start talking to them about that, they might go off the edge because they might not know how to deal with that kind of situation.
So this is what I was going to touch on. So where I start with that, you've got that already. But then when I lead into is talking about me and allowing myself to say, you know what, the vulnerability that I had, let my guard down, let them see the realness in me. Once a lot of them see, not all of them, but once a lot of them see the realness in you, because a lot of times what we feel like, in my opinion, is that we need to come onto them to get them to trust us by talking about, man used to do this when I was younger. Man used to do this when I was younger. Man used to be a bad man and blah, 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 blah. And more time it's like, no, what I want to do is be able to pull my defense down and not have to talk like that. So if we're doing that, I used to be like this, and once again, this is my opinion, because other people can get to that way, you know what I'm saying? But for me, because I weren't that, I can't say that. So when I let my vulnerability down, they're not having to say, you know what, okay, so if he used to do that when he was younger, am I not bad enough now? It changes the narrative, it changes the conversation. I don't have to talk, man, so man must have seen this you, and I lit man, like, I don't have to change that narrative now because I know that you were on stuff. the conversation we're having now is that, okay, raw, so you went through that as well. And more time we're going to relate to what they're going through. So there might be certain things where I'll just crack a joke and it's like, hey, bruv, you know how mad it is sometimes when you get home and there's nothing there. Like just having to make crisp sandwiches and make a joke, and then you start seeing them talk about, yeah, it's mad still. Man, I had one of them the other day. Oh, okay, cool. That's where the conversation starts. Like, you really got it, in my opinion, what worked for me. I really allowed myself to be vulnerable with these youths, to let them see, because kids know who's talking crap, bro. Like, they can see it, and this is why they don't get along with a lot of teachers, to be quite frank. But I know for me, how can I expect you to be real with me if I'm not going to be real with you? Lose your vulnerability, lose your pride, I should say, become vulnerable, and let them understand that it's okay to talk. That's my opinion.
Cool.
Thank you, sir.
Cool. That's good. So.
You sit on a panel.
Yeah, Tricky, Tris. What's going on, my bros?
Big up to Tricky, big up to Tristan, and big up to your panel. I just want you to let the people them know where they can find you, when they can find you, and what it's about. Yeah. Very briefly.
So briefly, because I've been talking for time now, briefly, you find it on Instagram. We just pop up with Instagram lives every now and again. It's all about just us being able to find out what it is people want to talk about, and just being able to say, you know what, okay, cool, these are our life experiences. Can we help? Can we shape that? So you'll find it on our Instagram live. My Instagram live, what's my Instagram? Kerry _Phillips 86, something like that. Yeah. When I started looking, I was looking at Panache official, brother. What is official about you? Allow it. Tristan's it's Tris Gordon. Yep, and it's Prince Tricky of the City.
Prince Tricky of the City. And when do you do this?
Like I say, sporadic. It's one of those white sporadic ones. So you just have to pop up. So just follow the gram.
Follow them.
You should definitely do a Bluetick and collab live.
100%. We yeah. I was doing one.
Oh, you was doing one.
I was doing one, but yeah. If we're gonna do a Bluetick, we have to arrange. Yeah. When me and Dan's around.
What we need to arrange is a Bluetick versus Saving Souls little charity game. Still,
I'm down for that.
Get the man them, get the brethren, come round, and we arrange a game, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I'm game.
Oh wow, yeah. Yo, remember what I said earlier with the other league? Remember what I said in the other league? Listen.
Cause he knows the thing. He knows.
Yeah, that's cute.
He knows what we got. He knows what we got.
That's cute, and I appreciate that.
He knows exactly what we got in the locker.
See the man them around here. Yeah. They proper feel like me. I had no, like, when it comes to, like, I don't know what they see, right? But they don't think I can play football. They don't think I was athletic. Yeah. They don't think I can do fuck all.
Leave them. Come play for us. Come play for us.
But this was a man that used to go to school with me.
Yeah? Come play for us, because I wouldn't even. I'll put you up top and I wouldn't even say nothing. Okay. Come play for us.
Cool.
Say no more. Let's get this cracking.
Right? Who was improving that?
No, just a lot of
Who was improving that play?
A lot of them. Now that you said come and play with you, everyone's backtracking. But I don't know what it is about me, right? But they just feel like I'm not physical.
Denial is not just a river, you know. Denial is not just a river.
Hey, listen, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Wellness and prevention. What? Yeah. We weren't talking about this. Yeah. I realised
just in general, maybe not just you. I'm talking about just people that are around, man. Yeah. They seem to think I was a man that, I don't know, like,
no one thinks
just played computer.
I'm gonna be honest.
Or
let's be real. Like, you see, Dan doesn't come across as a sports person. Like, in any sense of the word. I can't say to you I've ever seen Dan play a proper sport. You went to school with him. A lot's changed since school. He's got 5 picnics.
Still got it.
Alright, cool. I've never, in all my years, I think Dan might have played 5-a-side with us once.
Okay.
Before I got locked up at Pitts in Catford. I think you came. If my mind serves me right, I've seen him play football once in my life, man.
I'm going to shock you lots, Ross Clark. Yeah?
I'm old. Dan's a young boy. If you were, how are you gonna tell man that you're sporty but you don't do any sports?
I do. The other day, man, we were playing rounders, yeah. I'm not gonna lie, family rounders, yeah. You see, the next day I woke up, felt crippled for about an hour, just walking around trying to find my feet.
I man said that from rounders.
You know what I'm trying to say, but cause it was a serious game. You get me?
Hey, but man said that from rounders.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to do this football thing.
Yeah,
man.
we're gonna have to.
I'm ready.
We'll make it happen, man.
I'm ready.
We're gonna have to sort this out still. That would be good for the. That would be good for the
You know,
community.
I think it would be dope.
And
for the
here what we
community.
do. All right. So what we'll do with the proceeds, we'll pick someone to pick a charity for the proceeds to go.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes
Down
perfect
for
sense.
that. Down for that.
But let's do it in our community, man.
Yes, it has to be in our community. There has to be a charity in our community.
Yeah, let's
it
do
can't
it
go
in our
out of the
community.
community. There has to be in our community. So yeah, let's
On that note,
we're gonna
I want to leave with a Kerry's final thoughts.
go on, Kerry.
My final word is that, listen, you see if you're struggling, yeah, right, you see if you're struggling, please believe there are so many people out there that will prefer to listen and talk to you rather than to turn up at your funeral. I promise you.
Real talk.
I promise you. So please, if you are going through anything, and I need to take this on board myself, there are people out there that love you, so keep finding that person, keep finding whoever it is, reach out to them and reach out to your people. And Saving Souls, we're here every Tuesday, Bell and Leisure Centre, women's self-defence class. Every other Friday, man, them come play football for free.
Mad.
Yeah,
You got it right there in your ears.
We're out of here.
Big up yourself.
Big up yourself.
Boom.
Peace.